Hello everyone, welcome to our workshop provided by Amazon, Runscope School, IPAM, and I will be your speaking head for today. My name is Ivan, and let's begin. What is in our agenda for today? Our workshop consists of 3 parts. The first part will set up CDK, CloudFront, and connect CloudFront to two origins, API Gateway and S3 bucket. The second part, we will touch policies, cache policies a bit, and use some loops to make them easier. And the third part will include some functions, Lambda functions and CloudFront functions. First, I want to tell you a story what's in the account that you have for this workshop if you registered, and if you didn't register but want to pass this workshop with your own account, you will have to have the same resources and the same things. So they all are included in this template, and you can pass this page to prepare your account. But let's see firstly what we have here. Okay. Let me stop the screen and relog in. It happens sometimes, so don't worry if you meet the same problems. Okay. Yeah. And it works. Give me a moment. Yeah. So I just opened the console. Okay, where do we start? I want to show you CloudFormation stack that was deployed for this particular account and for your account also. It consists of some resources that we'll need for our workshop. Mostly they represent API gateway roles, couple of lambdas, and our buckets. For origin bucket is the bucket where we see our website that we'll use, and a couple of other buckets that will mostly not used today. Okay, I hope everyone is here now. So let's start from the beginning. Start is the key. Okay, we will use Cloud9 for development environment that's been already deployed for you. And we will open it now to allow it to start up. Okay. It will take a couple of moments to start and connect with your EC2 with prepared IDE. I will take a couple of seconds to tell you about this Cloud9 IDE. What you can see here, the main window is a window with our workspace where we write code, and that's probably the left part. You see file structure with our connected code commit. If you're not familiar, it's code commit is a server for Git repositories that can be used and pretty reliable, and it's connected automatically with your Cloud9 dev environment. So, where we start? Firstly, we need to install C9. It's done with npm, and if you are working from your account, your environment, you'll need npm as well. And also, we will need to have our account info in Azure C, so we won't need to type every time all this get color identity. As you see, big line of code. So next, let's source our Azure C and try account info. Yes, it will output some numbers. It's your account ID. You can find it on the top right corner of your AWS console. You see account ID, and the same is here. Fine. Then we go to workshop repo and make CDK init. So while it initializes, you can see that it created some files within our repo, and it's a default structure for CDK application, where you see bin with the workshop repo as our entry point. In lib, you should see stack, where we will create the most of our code, and default files like CDK.json with metadata about your account and the extensions you use for CDK. To setting credentials. if you, yes, let me answer the question. Yeah, if you registered with our link, then credentials should be sent already to your email address. And if you don't have a test account, then I would suggest going to this stage preparation and then using your account. It won't cost much. It's a matter of cents, I believe. So you will completely be fine, but always don't forget about cleanup. Okay, let me continue. Let me see. Is there anyone here with test account? Could you type plus in chat or something? Please. Let me paste the link with this workshop. Please follow it and then log in with your email account. I hope it will help. I'll stop for a moment to see if someone has their access. Okay, during this waiting, let's briefly see what else do we have here. So we have buckets that I already mentioned. Origin bucket is the bucket that we will use for our website. It's just a one pager or something. Then we have API gateway. with our some entries to allow us to have some backends. Or oh, it's great, nice. So it's working. Okay. It's a relief. Thank you. Thank you all. Okay, I will tell you again where we are. Honestly, we just started. So the first thing you'll need after you log into your AWS console, you'll need to go to Cloud9 and click Open. Yeah, it's already set up for me, but for you it can take some several seconds. Then we added alias for account info. That's copied from here to bash RC. And sourced it like this. So we have now account info command. Okay. Nice. Okay, let's continue. We need to initialize our SDK application, and we did it. So it's SDK init language TypeScript. Yes, Tamara, I think you're not registered, I believe. So unfortunately, we can't help you now. Probably it you can follow the RESTful pages and see the announcements of our workshops to register to have an account for future workshops. Okay. Now we initialized, and surely we need CDK Bootstrap in the same directory where we initialized everything. We bootstrap the application. No worries, Volga. We are on the first page in setup CDK on the CDK bootstrap thing. But you you feel free to watch if you want to do. Okay, what it does now? It stops everything for working with CDK, and we can see it in CloudFormation. So you see it's CDK toolkit, some resources for it, and some outputs just to help us to work with CDK. It doesn't imply more costs for user, so it's really easy to use thing. Next, for unification, we will rename our workshop repo stack to CloudFront stack. It's done with a recommend and the same as everywhere in Unix-based operation systems. So you can be familiar with it. And oh yeah, now we open the CloudFront stack.ts. It can be done from terminal. And just rename workshop repo with CloudFront stack. That's it. And also, we want to make the changes for our entry point because it's now failing. So it's not workshop repo, it's from CloudFront stack, and here CloudFront stack. As you see, this IDE is working as most of the other IDEs you can use, but you can use your favorite. For example, VS Code, that's recommended by AWS, or you can use C9 as well as the alternative. Okay, yeah, I forgot here. Stack. Nice. And we continue with creating actual infrastructure. Finally, we will need something from our CDK libs. And this is imports. All imports from our CDK lib. Let's add them to our CloudFront stack instead of what we already use. Okay, we'll need S3 as our origin. So you remember that we have S3 bucket with our website. So we will need to connect it somehow to CloudFront that show our website to the internet. And origins as origins as origins in CloudFront that we'll use. We'll use S3 and more in the next steps. Construct is a basic entity in the CDK. In CDK, it can represent from one. You can follow the same steps. While let me show you question. You can follow the same steps we did before. So firstly, you need to initialize CDK. CDK init. Then you'll need to bootstrap your repo in just empty directory, and you will see all the structure as we have here. I hope I answered. Next, we imported everything, and we you can connect your ID with training account. It's a bit out of scope for today, but you can use using your account for the steps as the foundation, I would say. I believe it's about AWS CLI login, or in CDK JSON file. So hope that answers it. Okay. First, we create an origin from the existing bucket. It's done from with this line of code. What we do here is we get our bucket and create an object from it. We will need our origin bucket. What is this? This is the origin bucket from what we saw previously. So we go for S3. Then you will see one origin bucket. Just copy the name and paste it here. That's it. That's our origin bucket. Then we'll need to create our S3 origin, as done here, and distribution. So it's the simple part. When we create an origin for our CloudFront distribution from our S3 bucket, and then with help of CloudFront distribution, we create itself. So it's and add a default behavior. The default behavior is a behavior of your CloudFront distribution when no other behaviors are in place or being hit. for example, with another paths. But now we have only one behavior, and it will answer all requests from the users. So what it says? It says that origin is our bucket. So everything user will request will go from our bucket. And viewer protocol policy says that we don't want users to go through HTTP and redirect them to HTTPS. Actually, default root object is HTML to replace our root with index.html. And that's it. Don't forget to save. And that's everything for here. Now we can list all our stacks firstly and see that we have defined our one CloudFront stack. And you see the CloudFront stack is here. And now we want to add our account info. So it's in our workshop repo, and that's probably what we need to do. So this env is needed to be pasted here, and the account info, account number, is what we see type in account info now. Yes, if you are not registered to this workshop, unfortunately, we can't help for this workshop, but please register for the next one, and you will have your testing account as well. Okay, account info. Or I think if you see previous comments, Pavel, please scroll up and click on the URL I sent in chat. Probably you'll have the access code. And we are now on the second page, so it's not really far away. Okay, I digressed. Sorry. We added our env, account, and region. Region uses one, and account info. Now we finally are ready to deploy. Let's do it. To do it, you actually in the workshop repo should type CDK deploy. And the first deploy will be a bit larger and slower. And and it should ask us if we want to do it, but it's okay if it's not. Now it's trying to deploy. Firstly, I want to say about UAssist 1. It's been selected not without a reason. CloudFront is global resource, but it's managed from US East 1. So probably if you have other regions in your account, then you also need to activate US East 1 and deploy CloudFront there. Let's see what is going on in CloudFormation. That's our first thing where CDK is working. So you see, CloudFront distribution is in progress. And what is in progress? It's the CloudFront distribution is being deployed. Let's click and see. You see CloudFront distribution. Here a list of our distributions. Now we have only one. We have domain name that's allocated for our CloudFront distribution, and now it's in status deploy. Let's a bit inspect it. So what we have here, we are interested in origins. Yes, here's our origin. A bit not readable name and origin domain. You see, it's our bucket. So our CloudFront distribution is now connected to our bucket. At least it's trying to be connected. Origin access, and everything is how we set up. Let's see. It's still deploying. And here it's in progress. So this CloudFront distribution will be created from our code, from our CDK. Oh, and yeah, it's already finished. So let's return to our CloudFront distribution and see that, yes, last modified, just finished. Here's domain name. We can copy this domain name and paste into our URL field and enter. Okay, it's working. It's our CloudFront, but access denied. Why? Because we didn't allow our CloudFront to interact with our bucket. So, and this why CloudFront can't get any object. Index.html or JS files, it doesn't matter. Everything is blocked for our CloudFront. So now let's unblock it and go next. origin access. Now we will create this S3 policy, and first we create the file. Create S3 policy TS and open it. We'll need a bunch of resources from CDK. Let's include them. Now, what they represent. iBucket is a common bucket resource from AWS S3. Construct we already seen. Policy statement is the statement for every IAM policy. It consists of actions, resources, users, everything that's needed to access or deny something. And origin access identity is the principal for CloudFront. Okay, let's continue. So, configure access policy S3. We will need this class to configure the access policy, and what isn't in it. First, access identity is the resulting our policy that will be added to our origin to allow access for CloudFront. So first, origin access identity, we create new one and create a statement for our accesses. For this statement, we add action getObject. GetObject represents actions to get any object from buckets. Add a resource for which this getObject should be performed is the bucketer and all the objects from this bucket. And we'll need to add the user who will be performing these actions. And this user is our CloudFront as a service. We create new policy for this policy statement and add it to our bucket and return our origin access identity. That's it. Let's save and add this policy to our CloudFront stack. First of all, surely we want to import it. Import configure that we just created. Then we want to add S3 policy, and for this we need to change our S3 origin. As you see, we add origin access identity that is created with our class that we just created and returned by access identity. Let's add it. Okay, and this is it. Now we want to deploy it again. Okay, what we're doing now is we adding our access policy to S3, yes, to actually to CloudFront origin. And as you see, it asked us, CDK asked us, do we really want to add this new policy? And yes, we want it. I'm not sure, Pavel. I would suggest to trying to log in with the incognito mode in another browser, probably might help. Okay, so what I want to show you what it's doing now. You see, our CloudFront stack is in progress, and this policy has been created. Policy CDK origin bucket, and CloudFront distribution is updating again. Let's see what has been updated. I think the most interesting part is now honestly here, because we changed the origin bucket, and permissions, if you go to your origin bucket as well, you'll see that first of all block all public access, and that's why we from CloudFront we can initially connect to this bucket. And the second thing is the policy that we've just created. You see, we allowed for our principal is origin access identity of our CloudFront to get object and everything that's related to get object in the bucket, and for everything in this bucket. And this what was sent was. This allows CloudFront to interact with the bucket. Let's see if it's completed. No, it's really long step here, but we can continue to explore our CloudFront. We see our behaviors. Oh, we didn't see what the behaviors here. We can click edit and see that it's default pattern for everything. We connect it to S3. Our protocol policy is redirect, and nothing else. I'll click cancel, so we won't change anything here. And since it's still deployed, we can see that it's still, oh no, it's already deployed. So what did I do? I just went to our CloudFront distributions. It's if you anywhere else, you can type and search CloudFront, go here and see your distributions. Copy domain name, paste, and you see, finally we see our website. Nice. We can go to our other tabs. We mostly will use API, and you see nothing is here, but we want to see something returned. As I understood, here should be, yes, some problems, and let's fix them. Yes, it's finally completed. Nothing changed from the second before, so let's continue. And you see the same output from our workshop page. Let's go next. Okay, as I mentioned, now we want to connect our CloudFront with API. API gateway, particularly that we saw on the start of this workshop. First, we want to have HTTP origin. That is placed just above the distribution, so we will have a possibility to add the new origin here in the distribution, and we will need domain name. Domain name can be seen in the CloudFormation stack that was created for us in the outputs. Here you'll see other host, but it's the same. It should be the key API origin endpoint. So we copy and paste the domain name. Now it needs to delete /API and HTTPS / because HTTP origin expects on the domain name, not a URL. Okay, and that's probably it for API origin. The only thing that we need else is add additional behaviors. So they are right for us. We add into our CloudFront distribution right after default root object additional behaviors. And what the additional behaviors is? Actually, let's Okay, well, let's discuss it. We added a new additional behavior for our CloudFront that will be used when when the user hits paths slash API slash anything, and it will be redirected to our API origin. Since we allow all the methods, every method that user will try to perform will go to API origin. So it will be get, post, head, anything. And we want to add view protocol policy as well, so users will go through HTTPS. Okay. Next, let's add some cache policies. They need to be set not to have default cache policies. So we will add cache optimized for all our static assets, for all index.html, etc., and disable policies for our API, since it's starting to be a bit complex when we are talking about some methods other than get. And that's it. Let's deploy. Okay, I saved. Hope you too. So CDK deploy. Okay. Yes, one more thing I remembered regarding HTTPS, that common certificates from AWS that are provided by AWS and created automatically for CloudFront working only in US East 1. And that is also one more reason why we used here US East 1 region. Let's explore what is going on in our account now. Honestly, you can follow the login bar here, and you see that everything is in progress, like stack and distribution. Nothing else was changed, so only distribution that will have one more behavior that is changing now. Let's see. Let's see what our CloudFront is representing now. Behavior, and you see the new behavior that we just created. And what is it? You see, we added new origin, new CloudFront stack, CloudFront distribution origin, this one. It points to our API gateway and not to S3. So every single request starts from API slash will go to our API gateway, and it will redirect to HTTPS, and cache policy caching is disabled, as you see, recommended for API gateway. Let's see if distributions is complete. Yep. Now go to our website. Again, it's our domain name in CloudFront distributions. Go here and enter. Here you see nothing changed, but API now, yes. Now it responds us with a lot of useful info. For example, we went to API echo, and you see some interesting things like user agent and some CloudFront, because it is the CloudFront that routed the request to API gateway. So it's under CloudFront, get, and a lot of different useful information, especially when debugging. Okay, we tested it. It works. Let's go further. That's finishing part. That was finishing part for the first part. So we start the second part. And in this part, as I mentioned before, we will work with cache policies a bit more. And first of all, we want to add a lot more behaviors. Let's create a file for it. Yeah, I don't have nothing needed directory, and yes, C9 open. Okay, here will be our behaviors for different paths. So this is our requirements. So we what we need here. We need different behaviors for different files, as like for HTML, default time to live will be 1 day, and for cache test, it will be 10 seconds. It's for the reasons of testing, so we will test it a bit further. But now we want to add these behaviors, create from this array our behaviors. Let's go then. Firstly, create cache policy. We'll work in this file. Open. Yes. And we'll need a lot from our CDK as well. What actually we'll need? We'll need some CloudFront functions. We'll need to create cache policies for it. So we'll need it. Construct as constructs. You see, construct is used everywhere. So it's the foundation of CDK. And then duration, as you already seen in behaviors, we need some durations for our TTL. And yes, everything for cache. Okay, now there are a lot of lines of code. We'll briefly go across them. So, cache props is the interface for our behaviors. As you see, everything from here we've already seen in behaviors, like origin path, default TL, the same as here. Next class, cache policy. It's just a class for creating the cache policy. It gets everything that we have in behavior and create a policy for it with the name from our paths. Then a bit easier type, and the compare function and compare policies function. They are connected because they're needed for us to not to add duplicates or the same things that we already created for caches. And since there will be a lot of cache behaviors, it's really needed here. Okay, that's create policy, and let's add everything we just created to our CloudFront. So next page, I hope I don't run and you can follow. Okay, let's import what we need for our cache policies. The first, go to CloudFront stacks, and right after our import, let's import everything for cache policies. It's behaviors from our behaviors, compare policies and policies from the create cache policy. We'll need it to create our policies and add them to our CloudFront, and iOrigin to create a container for both origins, for API and S3 origin. Okay, let's continue. First, yes, this container must be created for us. So we just right after API origin, we had this origin is created. It will be needed further. And after our distribution, we add a block of our code with adding all the behaviors. So what's going on here? First, we create policies, all the policies we need. We added for our cache behaviors. Then for loop for all our behaviors with first comparing policies. If we already have our behavior in our policies, then we don't need this policy. Then we'll get our final policy, checking that this policy actually is not added yet, and if not pushing, we're pushing it to the policies, and then for all paths in our behavior, we create additional behavior. It's a bit confusing, but we'll see later how it's going on here. And let's deploy this code. You see, for every path, so we have here in behaviors, in each behavior can be one or more paths. So here, for example, it's 3. And for each of this path, we create the behavior. And this is one of the crucial, I think, pros of CDK, that we can automate the things that we will do a lot of time doing it manually from the AWS console. So let's check out our CloudFront distribution. It's here, and you see, previously we had only 2 behaviors, default and API. Now we have a lot of them, 11 to be precise, and all of them different somehow, but there are groups of our policies. You see, the extension XML, HTML, CSS, it's is connected to XML, HTML, and CSS paths. And as we defined, it's how we wanted it to be. It's already deployed, so we can check out that everything is working, firstly, and secondly, that is working how we want it to work. But let's do it a bit differently. We can, yes, actually, let's take a look a bit deeper into text, edit. Let's see the cache policy, view policy. Yeah, you see we didn't set the GTL, and there the all GTLs are default. And for which we added GTL. Yes, for cache test. Let's see cache test. Cache test. Edit. View policy. And you see minimum style 5, maximum style 15, and default style 10. Let's see it from another place. Scroll down to we scroll down to the last comment on the page. We'll see account for color. Copy, paste. Actually, it failed because we want to replace CloudFront endpoint with our endpoint. And let's get it one more time. Here it is in CloudFront, domain name. I'll maximize it, and you will see this from CloudFront. Xcache. Let's repeat. Yes. Xcache. Hit from CloudFront. And H9. 8 seconds. 9 seconds. Let's continue and refresh hit from CloudFront. Nice. It's working. Because now we see H7. It means that we just received our file from cache. Okay, it's working. Nice. It was the last page of the second part. And the third part, almost the last part, or the last part before cleaning up, we will work with two different functions, lambda attach and CloudFront functions. We want to redirect traffic from test and API. Firstly, for test to be hidden, and API to introduce new API echo. Yeah, let's firstly go to our website and test what is going on here. Okay, access denied for test. It's not what we want to see here, and API the same. Yes, it's let's change it since we start to go there. Okay, firstly, creating the file in config, redirect test. Okay, open it. And here we will put our config for redirects. And it's just a config that we want to see. Like for test, we want to redirect to the root. And API, for API, we want to redirect to new functionality, probably. Okay, here it is, and now create lib functions directory. We will work in it and create the redirect function. Okay, now open. And put there this creation function. What is inside? Interface that we just seen from to doesn't need a lot of explain, and function that creates another function. This is one of the options to create a cloud function. Is just putting text as a return value. So we will see that we'll create this function as our cloud function, and this value will be put there as constant. Okay, the only thing that's left is adding this cloud function to CloudFront stack. Yes, first import everything that we created as redirects from redirect, our configurations, and the function itself. Then, after policies, we add our loop. What it does. It creates the function, the CloudFront function, for our behaviors with name redirect from to, and with code, as you see, from inline is the one of the possibilities. You can add the function from file as well, but here for the simplicity we add from inline. And yes, add behavior. So we add behavior for each from, for each our path that will be from, with our origin as S3 origin, and our function associations will be our redirect functions. Let's actually deploy. Here also there is event type. Event type is a type of event for each request. There are several of them. The viewer request represents the event when user just sent the request, and it tries to access anything from CloudFront. So the first that the user will reach is our function, is viewer, and this represented by viewer request. Let's see what's been created. It's in CloudFront distribution. Not here. I believe it's in our origin. Yeah, I forgot. Yes, it's another behaviors. Here you see we had two more behaviors for test and for API. What they represent is the same as we've seen before, but on the bottom of this page there are function associations, and as you see we have viewer request here set, and it's set with our cloud function, CloudFront function, sorry. And the API has the same CloudFront function. Nice. Let's actually see CloudFront functions, what we added there. Here are two functions that we created, and let's see, it's an API to API echo. Okay, and here's the code. You see the response is 302 redirect, and headers location to our domain, which is distribution domain name / API echo. Nice. Next one is from test to nothing, and you'll see domain to nothing as expected. Status updating. Now let's see. /test, and yes, we're redirected to index.html. Test index.html and API echo. Nice. It's what we expected. But there is thing. If we type test cache test, then we will download the test file, and that is because as you see in the behaviors, our test cache test is upper than our test asterisk, and that is why we actually downloading this file and not redirected to our root with index. So we should place test a bit higher to hide our test cache, but not now. Okay, next thing that we want to do is to go to lambda attach. Okay, now we want to implement a feature when we restrict access to our API for everyone who is not using desktop, like 90% people who use mobile to browse. So yeah, let's implement it. Firstly, we will need to create another function called only desktop.js. And immediately open it. Then we will need function that does nothing except returns please access using desktop when desktop is not being used. You see here we use CloudFront is desktop view header. It's not enabled now, and this function will not work without configuring CloudFront to include this header. So let's go to CloudFront. Import Lambda, since we need it. Okay, and add this code to the place right before our distribution. Or after our origins screen. Okay, and then we want to add this edge lambdas to our API/behavior. First, we need to create a custom origin request policy. That is what I was talking about regarding header behavior. As you see, we add this additional behavior to add the header is the stop viewer for our code. Without it, we will not see any difference because there will be always nothing instead of this header. And let's add the lambdas and origin request policy to our additional behaviors. So in the same block as we added API origin and allowed methods, we add origin request policy with custom origin request policy to add headers, and one header in CloudFront is the stop viewer, and our edge lambdas with function version as on the stop current version, and event type CloudFront origin response. Let's deploy it. Yes, let's deploy it. Origin response is the another event type as you I'm going to deploy this. Another origin, another type of events. As you remember, we used viewer request, and this is origin response. The origin response appears when the request is sent from user, and the origin API gateway or something else like S3 bucket response with an answer, something. And between this response and when user sees the result, our edge lambda will be placed. So it will be in the middle of responding of API gateway and the user. Yes, we got an error that says that the runtime we use is actually deprecated. So please just change Node.js 14 to Node.js 20x. And this 20x will go without an error. Deploy. And save and deploy. Yes, as you see in the Lambda function, there is Lambda code from a set where we define the code for our Lambda, and it's now it's in the functions directory. So the whole contents of this directory will be packed and sent for our Lambda functions. And the handler that will be used for this only desktop function will be only desktop handler. So from these files, the only desktop handler will only be used. Let's see it in the AWS console. Distributions. Behaviors. It's here in API. Indeed. Yes, if we scroll down, we will see origin response now is set to lambda attach and our ARN of our function. It's cool. Then it's already deployed. So we can go to lambda, function name only desktop. It suggests, and I accept this pretty name, and this is our function. You see, as I said, we added both our create redirect test and on desktop. But what is working, our entry point is on desktop handler. So here it is. And we can test it, but it's not in the scope in this workshop. Let's return to our CloudFront. And go to the website again. Okay, API, and you see request header CloudFront is desktop viewer is now true. Previously the header wasn't included, but now it is now. And if you want, and I actually want to go to this website and check from my phone how it's working. I'm typing website. It's a bit long procedure, but yes, it's working. And I can show normally, but here it is. I hope you see it. Access. Please access using desktop. Yep, it's working. Hope the same for you. Okay, that's it for this workshop. Let's summarize. First, we configured our CDK to use with C9 development environment. Then we set up CloudFront, connected it to S3 origin and API gateway. Then we configured multiple cache behaviors for different file extensions and set them different TTLs and allowed broadly compression, for example. We made it through loops and didn't put everything manually for every single behavior separately. Then we created two functions. First, that redirected us from test to root and from API to API echo. And created restriction for mobile users. That's it. I hope you guys also finished it and glad with the results. I don't see any questions, but if you have some, I'm glad to answer them. And if you have create everything with your account, probably don't forget to clean up. It's pretty simple. You type just CDK destroy, and it will destroy everything that you create. Surely it won't delete files from your local station and from this code commit, but it will delete all infrastructure that was created. Test accounts will be cleaned automatically, so you don't have to do anything. Yes, there will be some problems with this particular stack, but if you closely follow the last cleanup page, then everything will be removed from your account if you use your account and not testimonial. Okay then. I think I don't see any questions in the chat, so I hope everything was clear, or at least understandable. So yeah, I will close the event, and the accounts will be shut down in really soon after this. So thank you everyone for watching, for following us, for working with us, for training, and have a good Friday and weekend. Bye.